Hello, this is Christmas. This is Tea and Toast. That's Greg. I'm Jason. And today we're talking about alternative Christmas movies. A magical Christmas scene for you. Thank you to YouTube.
This
the
is
person that created that.
This is the third episode.
I know, at Christmas.
We've really gone for it this year, haven't we?
Yes. Recorded all three in 2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours?
You went toast at the start of the show. Welcome
Anyway.
to Tea and Toast.
Anyway, we're talking about alternative Christmas movies, Greg. So,
What do you mean by alternative Christmas movies, Jason?
I mean, when you've watched all the magical ones that we all love to watch this...
Santa Claus the movie,
Home Alone,
Elf,
Scrooged, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, all of those ones that everybody associates with Christmas. There are a few other films that are Christmas films, in our opinion, that aren't often included in the Christmas film list.
You mean like films like they're on at Christmas that aren't actually Christmassy?
No, I
you
mean Christmassy films that don't get associated with Christmas because they were perhaps not released at that time of the year, or for some reason they're not considered Christmas family films. And I'm going to kick it off, Greg, with Planes, Trains and Automobiles. To me, this is a holiday classic. It was even released in November in 1987. So I don't know why this doesn't appear more as a Christmas film, if I'm honest.
I've got an idea why.
What, was that because of the language that's in it?
In the particular line section when he's waiting to get a car, Jason.
Hire a car.
Yes, I mean you've just showed me the clip before we did this. And there's a couple of swear words in it.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple of words that aren't swear words.
I mean, you could put that clip in, but you're going to be beeping for quite a long time, aren't you?
Yeah, and we'll get flagged.
Oh.
So, anyway, there's one for you to watch. Planes, Trains and Automobiles. A classic comedy. I can't even speak. I need to stop with these, Greg. I'll have another. A classic comedy film that to me is a Christmas film and always reminds me of Christmas when I watch it.
It's strange, isn't it? You get me thinking now. Like Die Hard, we all know
What?
it's not a Christmas film, is it?
Greg,
But
it's on the list. Shut up.
Sorry, man.
Next on the list, Greg, is Die Hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know, I was just thinking about Die Hard because it's really strange, isn't it? It's clearly not a Christmas film.
But
Yes, it is a Christmas film.
It was released in July of 1988.
There you go.
However, it is set at Christmas.
I don't feel out of place watching it in July and then Christmas Eve.
No, it's set at the Nakatomi Christmas Party, isn't it?
Are you what, sir?
The Nakatomi Christmas Party.
One more.
Nakatomi Christmas Party.
You slowed down that one, a bit ruined.
And obviously we all know the story that John McClane goes to visit his wife at the Nakatomi Christmas Party, and it all goes to trouble. And he becomes an action hero and saves the day. Bruce Willis at the time wasn't considered an action hero. He'd only really famous for moonlighting. Some walk by, whatever it is.
Night.
Moonlighting strangers.
What? Who was originally lined up for it? I can't remember.
Right, well, there's a story that we've told on this channel before that Frank Sinatra had to be offered the part because he starred in a film that Die Hard was actually the sequel to. Die Hard was based on a book that was the sequel to a film that Frank Sinatra was in, and in his contract, Frank Sinatra had to be offered the role in any sequels to that film. So they legally had to offer it to Frank Sinatra. Luckily, he turned it down because I think he was about 82 by then.
I don't know, it could have been quite good, couldn't it?
So he didn't take the role, but there were other people in line for it. But they did manage to talk the studio execs into going for Bruce Willis. But the studio execs were so worried about it that they didn't want him on the poster. The initial posters for Die Hard didn't have Bruce Willis on it.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
I really think that's genuinely amazing because he was so good at it, and yet the annoying thing is he's not very good at it now.
And it went on to sort of set the template for action movies, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying, it annoys me a little bit that it does look like, in the later ones, that he's bored.
Yeah.
It looks like he's bored, whereas in this one, because he knows...
Himself.
Yeah, exactly. But now he's a multi-millionaire anyway.
I mean, we have this debate all the time. Die Hard 2, I think, is almost better than Die Hard 1. 3 is not very good at all.
3's brilliant.
No, it's not. And 4 is better than you give it credit for.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. You have to say, it does go 1, 2, 3. I used to say 1, 3. Because I used to love Die with a Vengeance. I used to love that one. I think it was brilliant. But this loops back into this. Because the second one is still a bit Christmassy, that has that magical feel to it.
It is
whereas
Christmassy,
the third
isn't it?
one doesn't. It's on the summer.
Because obviously his famous line is, how can the same stuff happen to the same guy twice?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Die Hard for your alternative Christmas movie list. Get it on.
But I think everyone knew that anyway.
Yeah. So, another film or movie that is associated with Christmas, but isn't associated with Christmas, which is really what this list is all about, is Rocky IV, Greg.
Oh, right.
Released in November the 27th of 1985, Rocky IV. Now, this holds a lot of good memories for me, this film, because I might have mentioned before that I lived in a small town where we didn't have a cinema. For a little time when I was a kid, there were 2 films that were brought to our town and played in the village hall. It was a cinema in the sticks kind of thing. One of them was Back to the Future, which changed my life. And the other one was this, Rocky IV, which I watched on a big screen in my local village hall. And it was fantastic. And you might argue that it's not a Christmas film, and I would possibly agree with you, but it does remind me of Christmas.
It's not a Christmas film?
When I watch it. It is set in a snowy scene when he goes to train.
So what you're saying then, if there's snow in it, it's a Christmas film?
No, there is also Christmas in it. And bizarrely, Rocky buys Paulie a robot. What's that about?
Perhaps it's because he's about to get beaten up by one.
Possibly. Now you might argue with me here, Greg. The best of the Rocky franchise for me.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't argue with that. It is.
I think there are people who are slightly older than us that will say Rocky 1 or 2 is the best. 3 for me was okay.
4 had everything though, didn't it?
We don't talk about 5. Or possibly don't talk about the ones that came afterwards as well, the Balboa ones. They were okay, but I think it was just trying to squeeze more out of the
5
franchise.
is horrific.
5 is horrific.
I don't know what he was thinking.
4, for me, was the peak of the Rocky films. Sylvester Stallone was at the peak of his fitness. He looked amazing. Ivan Drago was just like a monster.
He's recently said, hasn't he, that he said 5 was, if he could take that back, he would.
Really?
Yeah.
But would he give the money back?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Sly's doing very well, isn't he, for his age? Because he's knocking on a bit now.
Hmm.
You alright?
Yeah.
So, there you go. Rocky IV, a Christmas film.
It's not a Christmas film.
It is.
It isn't.
Now, here's another Die Hard type debate. Because this is quite clearly a Christmas film. Yet there are still people out there who say it's not a Christmas film.
And the reason we know it's a Christmas film
It's because we've had it straight from the horse's mouth.
we spoke to that horse. And that horse told us to get out of his stables.
We are, of course, talking about Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Which was reduced.
Reduced. It was in the shop. It was $5.99, and now it's $2.99. Quick!
It's been reduced, and it was released in June of 1984 on the same day as Ghostbusters. What a day that was!
Ghostbusters.
So that's why people say it's not a Christmas film, because it was released in the summer. However, it's clearly a Christmas film. It is set at Christmas. There is snow. There is Santa. And there's lots of little gremlins running around.
What more do you need?
And we did meet Zach Galligan, who plays Billy in Gremlins. And we asked him the question.
Straight out.
And this is what he said.
It is a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie now. It's become one. You know, the same way Die Hard has become a Christmas movie now. So it doesn't really matter what it was intended to be, because whatever it was intended to be, the people take it, the culture takes it and shifts it and turns it into what it actually is.
The final movie on our alternative list of Christmas films for you to watch is a classic starring Eddie Murphy.
Oh, now, is it Coming to America?
No. That's got a sequel too.
Yeah?
That's released on Netflix, isn't it?
Well, you must be gutted. I know you're in a rush, Chase, but you must be gutted, mustn't you? If you've done a film and it was due to be released this year, and it's ruined everything, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think they're doing that because they've got to make the money on it quick. So Coming to America 2 would have been huge box office, I think, but now it's going straight to Netflix.
Well, it must make a lot of money on Netflix. It's just huge, isn't it?
Now, Eddie Murphy has said he's extremely happy with this. Now, is that extremely happy with it the same way at the time he was extremely happy with Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Well, he was extremely happy with the paycheck.
Exactly. And now he's admitted it was horrendous.
I mean, everything he did after Beverly Hills Cop 2 just went downhill, didn't it?
I don't know, The Nutty Professor was pretty good, wasn't it?
But all those things like A Vampire in Brooklyn and Boomerang and all those. What
Did he do The Haunted Mansion as well?
Oh, that was alright.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Trading Places, which is an Eddie Murphy classic.
Yeah.
With Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis.
What a great film.
Now, we can't mention Jamie Lee Curtis without mentioning that scene. The one that you rewound when you got the video out in the video shop. When she takes off her top. And us 15-year-old kids just couldn't get enough of it. It was classic.
The thing is with this debate, what's your name? Jason?
Chris.
No, I was going to say Chris was debate, and then I called you Chris.
Oh.
So who's Chris?
Oh.
The thing is with this debate, Chris, is mess. If you watch certain films at Christmas, they could become Christmassy for you. For instance, for me, growing up, Superman was always a Christmas film.
True.
Yeah, it isn't a Christmas film, but it was shown at Christmas. And we didn't have the easy access like we do now to watch films. So when it was on your normal terrestrial television, it was a big thing for you to watch. So the Superman, E.T.
Tell you what was on every Christmas. Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz?
Every Christmas.
Mary Poppins is a Christmas film, but it's not.
Not for me.
No, it's not. That's just what I'm saying. But I grew up when it was on every Christmas. They wouldn't randomly put Mary Poppins on in August. But it was on randomly at Christmas. See what I'm saying, Jason?
I do see what you're saying, yes.
Even Back to the Future. It was shown at Christmas.
It was. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that little list. This was just a little extra Christmas video for you, for us to say.
The Goonies is a Christmas film.
For us to say, have a very Merry Christmas. You alright, Greg?
Top Gun.
This is the end of the show, mate.
I haven't done a joke or anything.
Well, no, it's just a little extra Christmas video.
People are going to write in.
They're not. Merry Christmas.
Indiana Jones is a Christmas film.
Do you want to do a joke? Will that make you feel better?
No, you've lost the moment now, Jason. I'm too annoyed.
Merry Christmas.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is a Christmas film.
Hope you have a great time wherever you are. And a happy new year to you all too.
I can't watch Short Circuit at Christmas without crying my eyes out.
We'll see you again in the new year with lots of new content.
And it will be new because, let's be honest, we were thrown back a bit last year.
Yes, weren't we all?
So it will be.
But hopefully our
more.
plans that we've talked about will come to fruition.
It'll happen.
And we'll see you again in 2021.
Roll on.